this is Stephanie Ortega, and you're listening to the Remix Movement Podcast.
All right, we are here for our last episode of 2020.
That's it.
Yes, this is your host, Stephanie and Luis Ortega.
Hello.
We hope you had a wonderful Christmas.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we had a good one.
Yes, we did.
But we hope yours was good. We hope that you were healthy, and we hope that you got the gifts you wanted and that you got to spend time virtually or physically with your family.
Yes. And just a reminder, it's not just about gifts.
Yes, but love and kisses and fun with the family and friends and making hot cocoa and watching some movies and laughing together. I think those are like the best parts.
Yes, they can be.
Yes. It was nice to have our family over.
Both sides had some time with us, and we got to spend time with them, and yep, it was a good time.
It was. It was the first time that both families came to where we live, so it was really nice. Definitely one for the books.
I agree.
All right. In our last episode, we talked about love for all. I want to say thank you to everybody who has listened to that. I have been seeing the numbers, and I really do appreciate what you guys have to say, your comments, your feedback, your DMs. I know that was one that a lot of people really like. So if you missed that episode, that was episode 96. It was titled Love for All. And basically, we learned that love embodied the birth of Jesus. Love surrounded the Christmas story. And we read Luke chapter 1, verses 26 to 56. And we talked about how even though there was a mix of emotions, like a roller coaster that Mary had, at the end of it all, she felt Jesus' love through God's favor upon her life. And love started it all. So it was a very nice podcast episode. I felt like instead of talking about the actual birth of Jesus, which is found in Luke 2, we talked a little bit about Mary and how she felt.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes. So in that episode's challenge, it was basically as you celebrated Christmas, take 5 minutes or more if you want to acknowledge God's love and make this a habit so that you too can love others the way he loves you. And so, like I said, this is our last episode of the Remix Movement Podcast for 2020. But it is not sad at all. Right, Luis?
No, it's not.
It is not sad at all. We are excited to let you guys know that we are moving on to 2021, and we are going to give you a whole new seasons of episodes, and we're adding some new things in there. We'll give you more details about it in our new episode for next year. But definitely, we are excited to let God continue to use us in this podcast, and there'll be plenty more of a variety of episodes.
Yes, a lot coming for the new year.
Yes, and we're really excited, So definitely new footage for video, because I'm excited to know that my parents blessed me with a new GoPro.
Yes, they did. That
Yes.
was very nice.
And we're working on new editing footage, and we're taking the remix above and beyond.
Yes, we are.
All right. So since we are doing this together, and I say we, me and Luis, I thought, why not end on a positive, uplifting note, right? And this episode is basically us just taking a deep dive on how this year was, things we can improve. And it's titled We're Better Together, because I really do feel like this podcast would not be what it is without me and Luis and the voice of God.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So God really has to be present, and God really has to push us. There's a lot of work and effort that goes behind the scenes. And there's moments even when we're doing the podcast and God reveals certain revelations to us that were not put in our notes, but we're being used by God, and we're better with him in the mix of it all. And it wouldn't be what it is today, and it wouldn't be what it is going to be for 2021 had it not been and will not be without God. So kudos to God up there. Thank you so much. It is a privilege and honor. All right. So just a few questions, right? So Luis and I, the first one I want to ask you, Luis, is what do you think was the best quality as a host of the Remix Movement podcast?
Is this for you or for me?
For you.
My best quality.
Yes. What do you think is your best quality as the host or one of the hosts of the Remix Movement podcast?
I've gotten a lot of feedback saying that I have a humorous personality, which is hard to believe because when I listen to these episodes back, on my way to work or whatever, I feel like I sound so dry.
Dry?
Yes, like my tone of voice, just maybe my humor might not be so warming to the spirit. So it's kind of just, yeah, it sounds pretty like I sound dull in my head.
You don't, babe.
Thank you for that. And I'm sure there's probably listeners that might agree with me. But I have like this monotone voice. Right now, as I'm listening to myself in the headphones, it sounds very like, I don't know, monotone. But again, they've said that I bring a sense of personality, a humorous personality to this podcast. I don't try. I guess it's natural. But nonetheless, that's what I've gotten. Yes.
I think it balances you. And I think it's funny because like me and you, we have conversations about certain topics. And when you get really into the topic, you have an inflection in your voice.
It all changes, right? Like,
Yeah.
It goes from dull and boring to maybe serious and maybe impactful. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know there's certain things that when we talk about, we had an episode where we talked about music and you got real into it and you were like, I really like For King and Country. I really like EDM.
Right.
Like you get real into it. And I think that's what really balances out when me and you do the podcast episodes together.
Right. No, I mean, I'm always into it. It's just there are certain subjects and topics that I have a little bit more of an input to speak about. So, and a lot of the times, like, you drive this podcast, which is fantastic because there's a lot more insight that you can bring to this table. So, and your voice. I really like your voice a lot. I don't say this because I don't want you to blush. Yeah, but I think for me, I feel like this is very well balanced as far as what we do. I'm satisfied, and I hope our listeners are also satisfied with the content we're bringing and what we do.
I definitely think that one of the best qualities that I have is being able to use examples that are real. And I think that especially growing with this podcast, because I feel like me and you are both growing.
Yeah.
There's certain things that we encounter in our personal life, and those are great examples to use on the podcast.
So has anybody told you about like how the remix has made you feel like God backing it up and making it like impactful?
It sounded like a really weird question for you.
Was it?
I get what you're trying to say, right?
You want me to rephrase it?
Go try.
Okay. It says, what has someone told you about the Remix Movement podcast that made you feel like God is really backing you up in this ministry?
There you go. The way you said it the first time sounded a little bit like
Did it?
confusing.
You see?
All right. Well, basically, we've had certain people that have texted me, like a few family members and friends. But it's really interesting is that when we go to our church and we don't even mention the podcast, but they know that, the Remix Movement is tied to me and you. They really look at it. And like when we share the podcast on our like Instagrams and Facebooks, it really reveals like what we're living has to match what we're saying. And I feel like when they mention it without me saying anything, like I'm still shocked. I'm like, oh, you listen to the remix? Like only God can really allow that person to like come up to me and be like, hey, like randomly, like, I just want to let you know you're doing a great job on the remix. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like all glory be to God.
Yeah.
Right.
And what do you think is the best feature?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that we're able to use what happens in our lives and see people on a daily basis and then be able to recognize a lot of the content we put out on the Remix Movement has to do with our own personal lives.
Sure.
Like it was a big thing for me that one time we had an episode before Mother's Day where I was able to really talk about, our infertility journey.
Yes.
And it puts you in a vulnerable spot as people that are going through it, but it also allows people to see that we are real. We are real people. We go through real situations. We have real friends, real jobs, real struggles. And regardless of what, things we're going through, what battles we're dealing with, like God is still working it out. Yeah. So what do you think is, what do you want to see more for the remix movement going into the next year?
So I've seen that there's been a lot of necessity in making more videos and content online. So I think we're gonna see more of that along the way.
Yeah.
As far as this podcast goes.
Yeah. So I definitely think we are gonna push more on the verses on our Instagram, Facebook. And I do see a lot of people like and comment on our verses. We get a lot of those verses and encouragement from, the Bible app, from Air One Worship Radio. And a lot of people really do like that content. I would like to put up for next year more video with regards to what our studio looks like. Maybe some interviews outside of the studio. With the new GoPro equipment, I think it'll make it a little bit easier. And I would definitely love to see if maybe we can do a little bit more on dating segments. I was looking at our analytics, and it looks like we have the majority of the people who listen to us are between the ages of 24 and 39. Did you know that, Luis?
I did not know that, but that's good to know.
Yeah, so those are the kind of people that they're our age group. Yes, we are young people. And they want to be able to get in tune with what they're going through. And a lot of people really did like our segment, Dating with Purpose. I know we only did maybe 3 episodes on that segment, but maybe we might do more in the future. What do you think?
I think we should.
Yeah. And I think we'll have some episodes also with you bringing in personal touches here and there.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to get a little bit more involved. My schedule, we all seen in the last few seasons that it's been kind of hectic. But I'm trying to make moves to be more involved and put more of my touch in this whole ministry.
Exactly. I do feel there are certain people that Luis can really impact. And I've seen that with your friends. You have a few friends that you have an ease when they get to talk to you. You have the humor and the charisma, and you're very approachable. And I think if our audience and the people who listen to us are able to see that part, we'll probably gain some more user followers and maybe some more subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Right. I mean, the whole idea is to just reach out.
Yeah.
And, grab lives. That's it.
And when he says grab lives, he means grab lives for Christ.
Right. Not for my personal gain.
No. The Remix Movement podcast, the whole mission and the vision is going to stay the same. We want to continue to point people back to Jesus, and that God can be able to remix their lives, transform their minds, and allow them to have a stronger relationship with him, right? Have a stronger relationship with Jesus Christ, and allow them to live their best life while they're here on earth. And if you have any topics that you maybe think that would be really good, let us know in the comments on our YouTube channel, or let us know in a DM on our Instagram and Facebook. But we'll definitely take any of your topics in for consideration. And like I said, 2021, we're definitely going deep. We're going deep, and we're getting stronger, and we're going to go in full throttle.
Yes, we are.
And we're better together. Again, we're better together with God. So we're going to promise to continue to lead you into God's direction as we host the next year. So for this episode's challenge, it's going to be, if you don't follow us already on our Instagram and Facebook, go ahead and follow us. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to our channel. And share our episodes, share our verses of the day. Let your friends and family members know that this is a podcast that they should be listening to as well. All right. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. On behalf of the Remix Movement, Lewis and I, we're going to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Remix Movement for more updates. Send us a DM with your feedback, questions, and any topics that you would like to hear in any of our future episodes. Thank you and God bless.